What's up, what's up, what's up? All right, we're getting out of here today. I was checking my collards today. I'm gonna let a couple of people come into the chat. Let's see who's in here. We got one person in so far. I'll let a couple of people get in here before we get to talking. Got my refractometer out here with me today, along with my garlic press. And this is what I use to test the sugars in my plants, which tells you the health of your plants. So we're gonna let a few other people get in and see what's going on. David Coy with the crops. What's up, my brother? K. Renee's garden. Hey, what's going on? Let's see if I can get this thing set up right. Here we go. All right. So we're gonna let a few other people get in. Got K. Renee's garden in here. Country Hustle. What's up, Country Hustle? Cash Flow. Got Cash Flow in here. Y'all know I'm practicing on my live, so I'm just bringing out different equipment at different times, just trying out different things. I got a little light now that'll pop up. Let me see if my light works. So what we're gonna be calling these is lights out lives. And I'm gonna wait to bring that light back on when I need it, because I don't need it right now. So the plan is when the lights go out is actually when the chat's supposed to start. So I'm gonna start doing this because I notice a lot of people are still out in their gardens this time of the day, but of course it's winter time, so not a whole lot going on in the gardens. Y'all let me know if you can hear me before I get into this conversation, and then, y'all start talking about you can't hear me. So put some thumbs up or some hearts in the chat if you can hear me. Okay, that's what's up, what's up. All right, Country Hustle, Backyard Farmer, appreciate that. Shelley's Homestead Hideaway, thank you for coming in. Just to give y'all a little heads up, let me see who knows what this is before we even get started. Let me see who knows what this is. What's up, the Educated Natural? Thank you for coming in. Let me see who knows what this is, and then once we get to know what it is, then we're gonna want to know what are we using it for. What's up, Farmer Chase or Farmer Chaz? What am I saying wrong? Chase or Chaz? Farmer Chase or Farmer Chaz? Let me know how that goes, because I want to be calling it right. David Core with the crop, Backyard Farmer. I got those. It measures the quality of your food. Well, that's close, but not exactly. It measures the quality of your food. What is it that it measures in the quality of your food? So we're gonna put this up closer to the camera. See what this is. And I know y'all be saying growing out the box you be doing too much, but this is one of the, there you go, somebody got it right. Backyard Farmer 74, refractometer. That's what that is, a refractometer. And what this does is it measures the amount of light that travels through a liquid and tells you what's known as your Brix reading of your plants. Now, let's see, we're gonna let a couple of other people get in here before we get started, because y'all got the chat going pretty good. But the game plan is how this is supposed to work. I'm gonna see if I can prop this thing up just right. You see I got a light right there. That light's gonna come on. There's another light on the other side down there, that's gonna come on. And then right here where the Buddha is, right here, there's a light sitting in the Buddha's lap. That's gonna come on. So what I wanna start doing, we're gonna be calling these lights out live. As the lights go out, that's when we go live. So What I'm gonna be doing is probably walking around the garden, and we're just kind of setting this thing up to get us I guess you might say, a format on how we're gonna be doing the lives. You know, my thing is I don't like being confined in the house. You can see my neighbors out here right now riding their dirt bikes. Hey, it is what it is. The wife was like, "You sure you want to do this now?" With them making all that noise out there. I'm like, "Hey, you remember when our son was, you know, middle school age and he was out there riding his four-wheeler making all the noise?" So it's something that we're gonna have to bear with, and I encourage it because the kids are back here having a good time. You got three of them on their dirt bikes. You'll see them fly by every now and again. We got a easement on the back side of my property, which is like the back half an acre that goes all the way down the subdivision. I'm gonna see if I could turn this so you'll see them fly by. Let's see if you see them go by. They're just out here enjoying the day. So how can you be mad at that? So I can tolerate that. Now, if I was recording a video, something that, you know, I'm a little more distinct about, then I probably would have an issue with that. But again, we're talking about our Lights Out Live, and we're trying to come up with a format for our Lights Out Live. What I want to start doing, even going into spring, you know, summer, coming out late evenings as the sun starts to go down, because that's when most of us are out in our garden. So I want to establish a time frame that we're going to be doing this. Most of us are out in our gardens. We're shutting it down for the night as the lights go out, hence the name Lights Out Live. Once the lights go out here and you're no longer doing anything outside and you're taking it back inside to get a little relaxation going on, you can just pop on the TV and Growing Out the Box is sitting right there, Lights Out Live. And hopefully we can set the ambience out here to a point to where it looks pretty good. We got our fire pit over here, so we're gonna be doing some of our lives over by our fire pit. And as a matter of fact, the next live that we're gonna be doing over by the fire pit, we're gonna be doing our hardwood ash burn. And the reason why I'm doing the hardwood ash burn right now is because my garlic, it's time to feed my elephant garlic. And most of you guys, the Educated Natural, Sweets of Heaven, if she comes in, a lot of you guys bought garlic from me, the elephant garlic. And that is my secret. I'm finna give y'all the secret to getting those elephant garlic bulbs as large as you can. I add my hardwood ash to my elephant garlic. Now, it's just not as simple as adding the hardwood ash in there, because there's a process that has to happen. Because if you add that hardwood ash in there, you're gonna raise the pH of your soil, which is why we have our pH meter. So all of these little gadgets that you're gonna see me bringing out and that you've seen me using over the past year or two, it's going to start to make sense to you now, because not only can I conversate on what it is that I'm using the tools for, but I'm going to be able to show you the end results of what happens when you use the tools and you use the tools correctly. The things that it can tell you about your garden. And that's going back to our refractometer again. What's up, Broke? I see you just came in. I appreciate you. South Florida sunshine. Hey, how you doing, Carol? Let's see who else has come in. Again, we're talking about our refractometer. I've already gave the quiz at the beginning of the live to see who knows what this is. Now, since we know what it is, can anybody tell me what do you use it for? This is a refractometer. Let me see who knows what to use this for. We're gonna check out the live. We're gonna check out the chat to see who knows what it's used for. I see somebody saying Tammy in there. Is Tammy Sherrill in here? Or is that another Tammy? So once again, I hear you say fruit, David. Okay, so what do you do with it? It ain't just fruit. What do you do with it? That's what I want to know. And I bet Carol knows this. So, Broke, come on now, help me out. Refractometer. What do we do with the refractometer? Farmer Chaz, Brix level equals sugar. See that? Now, how did I know South Florida Sunshine would know that? You got David Corey came in with it. Sugar content, check the sugar. What else besides checking the sugar? Now, this is the most important thing. Now, yes, you check the sugar of your plants, but why do you want to check the sugar in your plants? And I use this, you could check the fruit, but okay, we're going to ask a series of questions. We're going to see who is up on this now. My money is on South Florida Sunshine right now because I know Carol gets into the books and she's pretty straightforward with the information that she brings out there. So we got the official Jamia says check the sweetness. Yeah, that's one of the things, but there's a secret to this thing, and I'm gonna give you a hint. It's better than I don't want to rephrase. I don't want to say this the wrong way to get anybody in the uproar, but it's better than a soil test. What can you use this for that would make it better than a soil test? And this is why I do all the things that I do in my garden. We start talking about fulvic acid extracts, things that chelate the nutrients from your soil and make it lock on to the roots of your plants. And I get a lot of questions a lot of times about how do I know these things that I'm doing is working? I'm gonna give you a hint again, refractometer. The refractometer. So we're gonna roll with it for a little while because I still hadn't seen anybody give me the correct answer on, outside of sweetness, what does a refractometer do and what can it tell you about your plants in your garden? Now, I'm a lean on broke, and South Florida Sunshine already done hit with one, so she's got 1 point on her side. So South Florida Sunshine, you got 1 point. And we may even do something a little interesting out here. Maybe we'll give away some stuff for people who get the most answers on here. So we'll turn this thing into an interactive live question and answer where you giving me the answers to the things that I'm looking for. So it will also be used to check the sugar. And see now, South Florida Sunshine in here showing out. You can't be Googling now. Don't be Googling the answers now because Google will definitely give you the answers. Checks the acidity. Well, not really check the acidity, CARE 614. That's not really what we're using the refractometer for. I have another tool that does that. Broke say he's not sure. Okay, so I'm gonna give you a hint. I'm gonna give you another hint. Anybody could tell me what this is? And because these two go hand in hand. If you're using these two tools in the garden, then you absolutely know what these are doing for your plant. So what they're telling you about your plant. And these are the things that I tell you guys when I'm saying, and it's cold out here, so I might have a little drippy nose every now and again. But these are things that when I'm telling you guys about the fulvic acid extracts that I use, the fulvic acid extract is a way that I pull the fulvic acid out of stuff like peat moss, and it separates the humic acid from the fulvic acid. And what you do is you root drench your plants, and that causes the plants to chelate, and chelate means to grab. When it grabs, that means it's grabbing the available nutrients that are in the soil and making those available to your plants. And the question was asked to me by someone in another chat was, how do I know that the fulvic acid is working? This is the answer. And it's not for the sugars. Yes, you are measuring for the sugars, but there's something else in there that tells you what this is doing, measuring the NPK in fertilizer. Broke farmer, that's almost, that's almost, there you go, the educated natural, the density of the nutrients of your plant. So in other words, educated natural got that one. So what's up, Mike's Chaotic Garden? Appreciate you for coming in, bro. Backyard Farmer 74. the macronutrients. Macro, micro, it basically tells you everything that's going on with your plant, okay? Y'all see the first lights kicked in, right? That's lights out live. So this would be where we would start doing our lives. So we're gonna have, again, one light here kicks in, that's a solar flame. There's another one on the opposite end, you'll see it kick in, and then there's another light sitting on the Buddha's lap. When those three lights kick in, that's really time for the lights out live. So again, we're kind of what we're doing now is we're practicing on our live show, because that's what we're going to call it. We're going to call it a live show. And for those who don't know, YouTube is doing some things different now. And I'm going to give y'all a heads up on why these lives make so much difference now as opposed to what they did before. If you've probably been watching your analytics are probably showing you that your channel is not performing as well as it used to be because there's a lot of changes. And again, I'm gonna point at my guys back here on the motorcycles. So that's what y'all are hearing out here right now. So I don't know if that's overcasting the sound, but I guess in the next 5 minutes or 10 minutes, they'll probably be going in. So just let me know by thumbs up in there if it's overbearing when the sound comes by or if it's something that we can bear with. Let me know if that's something that we can bear with. Oh, it sounds good. Okay, David Corey says it sounds good. Okay, so going back to the refractometer and the changes that are going on with YouTube. Outside of the YouTube Partner Program, the Growing Out the Box channel is also a part of another background version of what happens on YouTube. So we get to try out a lot of the beta versions of different programs or different things that are coming to YouTube that they want to test out with different channels before they actually let it go out there to the YouTube audience abroad. One of those things is, and some of you may already heard about it, is the way that the viewing is coming across YouTube. So subscribers, people say subscribers don't mean as much as they used to. I beg to differ on that. I would definitely say that that makes a difference because me working hard to get up to our 230 something thousand neighbors that we now have on YouTube. I worked hard for that, so I'm sticking to my guns and continuing to do the same things that I've always done in order to get my channel to grow. My shorts is what brings them in. My long form is what generates the dollars. But here is something that I've been doing slightly different. And I'm going to give you guys a little heads up on this. You've probably seen, for those who watch my lives, have probably seen my long form videos as well, which are edited versions of the live. And you're probably saying, well, I've already saw that. Well, some of the people who watch the lives don't watch the long form, and some of the people who don't watch the long form don't watch the lives. So what I've done is I'm taking my lives, which the good signal that I have, and I can convert my lives over into long form. That creates $2. So when you're talking about in the first week, a live might generate anywhere from $50 to $100 based upon how long you're online and how many views that it gets, the ads and all of that thing that goes into generating your AdSense. But then you take that same $50 to $100 that you made off of a live during a week, you edit that down to a video, you've only done one performance and you get paid twice. So I'm giving y'all a jewel on this now. So that same video that I did with my hoop houses was a live that generated, I want to say 2,800 views on the live, which is not a lot, but for a live, that's relatively good. So that generated in that first week, $100 to $150. And then you turn right back around and you edit that same live and you give them the crux of 8 to 10 minutes of whatever your live was in the edited version. There is another $50 to $150. So in one live session, you've earned $300 in a period of 1 to 2 weeks. I don't know, that's growing out the box. You'd be doing too much. So that's what looking at your analytics can tell you. Why I've been slow about getting on the lives is because I wanted things to be a little better quality than I was accustomed to having, being able to do it out here in the garden, because I didn't want to do it in the house. That's stale for me. Doesn't really feel comfortable. I like being out here in the garden where I'm in my natural element. So I'm just giving you that little tidbit of information so you guys can think outside the box, grow outside the box, and start thinking of new ways to generate income, because YouTube is changing by the day. And with this AI, I mean, everybody's using it. I see it on thumbnails, even on some of the folks that's in the chat. Everybody's using the AI thumbnails. And you got people that don't probably know anything about gardening now, going to the AI, having it read out an entire session on a gardening certain plant, and then they're putting some still photos or some video clips with it, and now they're competing with those of us who actually come out here, get in the garden, work hard to grow these things and to bring you guys these tips and tricks. And I don't know, I'm feeling a little some kind of way about it. So what that does for me, it makes me reinvent the way that I approach this whole YouTube thing. And part of that is doing what I'm doing right now. So going live is something that, at least for now, the AI cannot do. So we're trying to do that and also incorporate, again, our long form into that. Then we'll take our long form, make short. So that one live session can generate you anywhere from $100 to $300, $400, $500 within 2 weeks, if you're just consistent about what it is that you're doing. And this is kind of like what I've been working on behind the scenes, and trying to do all this stuff is hard because, as you can see, I'm out here by myself. A lot of times I have my sister Tam, on the backdrop talking to me, and I want to do that. That's going to be a part of the format. So you'll see me on screen, but Tam will be reading the chat as I'm moving around the garden, and I can communicate with you guys via my microphone and my earpiece without being stuck in front of the camera. So I'll be able to talk to you guys while I'm actually out here in the garden moving around with the good quality and everything that you are normally accustomed to if we were sitting inside. So again, those are the things that I've been working on. Now, going back to what I came on here to talk about today, because I'm really, really feeling good about the results of what I saw with my collards today. And I tested them a couple of weeks back, right before this cool weather came in, and they were pretty well. But of course, when the collards, as the temperature starts to drop, that means the collards, the sugars go up. What's going on, Miss Shirley OG? Thank you for coming in. Let me see, I'm gonna call Official Jamila. Thank you for coming in. Let me see who else is in here. G Mama Groves, what's going on, neighbor? Odom's Homestead, what's going on, my brother? So what we're talking about today, and I'm gonna just briefly touch on it because I really wanna show you guys. I'm gonna do a whole video on these tools, and these are some things that, as a gardener, backyard gardeners, moving forward, this is relatively cheap. You can get these things for probably $20, $25 on Amazon or anywhere else. But of course, we're gonna have them on growingoutthebox.com, as well as our compost thermometers, because we're gonna be doing our 18-day compost challenge coming up. And we're gonna be doing some updates on that. It's gonna be real live. Matter of fact, since I'm talking about the 18-day compost, we're gonna be picking 5 winners, five winners for the 18-day composting challenge. I have gotten so many requests, both from Instagram, Facebook and TikTok, as well as YouTube, on when we're going to do the next 18-day composting challenge. Now, the 18-day composting challenge is somewhat labor intensive, and I'm going to put up a whole legwork of the rules that we're going to have going into it. I know there are a lot of people going to say, well, they're not physically fit to do an 18-day composting challenge. What's going on, Farmer Marshall? Thank you, sir, for coming in. Appreciate it, appreciate it. What's going on, Nikki? OCD is chick. Crafty Leo. What's going on, Crafty Leo? Check your email, Crafty Leo, because I sent you a message back. Crafty is working on something really good for me, and we're going to be showing that on the channel. I'm glad you came in today. What's up, J3GS Farms? So, again, with the 18-day compost, we got a lot of stuff planned. So I'm kind of jumping all over the place because I'm really excited. Just not only about the winter time, because we're going to keep these, again, Lights Out Live going for the winter time. And this is perfect because not a lot of us are out here in the garden. So I get to take up a little bit of your time. But Unique Gardens, thank you for coming in. Appreciate you. You know, I'll be getting my old man on in the rocking chairs too. But the 18-day composting challenge, we already came up with our rules, and it's going to be real good. And I am really hoping that we're going to be able to get a couple of hundred people involved with this, if not more, because Instagram, we got over 400,000 neighbors on Instagram. We got 460,000 on Facebook, 233,000 here on YouTube. So collectively, we're over 1 million. I can't see why we can't have well over a couple of hundred people in this 18-day composting challenge. And again, the beautiful part about the challenge is you don't have to be the best composter. You don't have to be the most experienced composter. You don't even have to have your pile to heat up. But what I am going to say is, as long as you participate, and that's my biggest thing, I want everybody to be able to participate. For those who are not physically fit and may not be able to, what's?
Stay on track.
Okay. Yeah, for those who are not able to physically get out and do the 18-day composting, you are able to have help. So if you got somebody, a grandson or granddaughter, niece, nephew, cousin, auntie, anybody can help you do it. The whole thing is, as long as you fill out your chart, and that's what we're going to have. We're going to have a PDF loaded up on growingoutthebox.com. That PDF is going to have everyday checklist that you got to do in order to be entered into the competition. That's going to be able to tell us that you turn your pile on this certain day. It's going to tell you, it's going to be able, you have to fill that out. And at the end of the day, when we pick our winners, you have to have all of these filled out. And we're going to put the whole criteria sheet up on growingoutthebox.com. It'll be a downloadable PDF file to where you can download it. And every day as we go through our 18-day composting, you'll be able to do the checks on the list. And at the end of those 18 days, we're going to pick 5 winners. And I'm going to say it again. You don't have to be the best composter. Your pile may not have heated up. We're going to try to see if we can troubleshoot to get you through with us. But the biggest thing that I want you guys to do is participate, because whether you get your pile to heat up or not, you're definitely going to learn something out of this. And that's the whole goal. We want everybody to participate. So we're doing, for the first time, a participation prize winners. 5 participation prize winners. And you know how Growing Out the Box do. So we may even be doing now, if somebody goes in and they just blows the top off and does this excellent compost pile, we may have a whole nother prize for that particular person. Some things that we're going to be doing is, you know, of course, Vigo. Vigo is one of our sponsors to the channel. We got compost bins that come from Vigo. We got planters that come from Vigo, the self-watering planters. We got so many different things that we can do in our giveaway that I want to share with you guys. The things that have been sent to me over the past year, I'm going to turn right back around and we're going to put them back out there in the garden community, and we're going to be sharing that with you guys. First place already taken. All right, let me see who said that. David Corey with the crops. That's right. So we're going to be doing thermal composting now. And again, it's a participation contest, and it's going to be involved with Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. We're going to combine them all, but it's all going to be right here on YouTube. In order for you to qualify to be in the 18-day composting challenge, you're going to have to be right here in our lives on YouTube. Every day that we come out, we're going to be checking our pile. We're going to be turning our pile. The only tool that you're going to need in doing our 18-day composting challenge is going to be a 20-inch thermometer, and that's to measure your pile. And you can, well, I think we're going to have those on growingoutthebox.com as well. So going back to our refractometer. Now, we're going to talk more about our 18-day composting later, but going back to our refractometer, I was very, look at there. You see, now my wife done brought me something out here. She wants me to share this. This for my ladies right here. These are growing out the box. These are some new things that we just got in. We haven't even put them up on the website yet. These are for my ladies, because the ladies support. Y'all guys, y'all be slacking. I don't know if y'all just don't want to wear no growing out the box gear, but my girls, my ladies, y'all be supporting. So I got, these were the main two by consensus that I'm getting a lot of the females to pick. And we're going to be giving away these as well. So, you know, pink represents a whole lot. Crafty Leo looks like love pink. That's right, Crafty. And Crafty, I'm going to say it again, she's doing something special for me too. And I'm not going to share that with you guys right now, but we're going to be sharing that live on the channel. But going back to our refractometer, now I'm going to see if I can pop my light on here. Now, my question to you guys is, do I need that light or can I turn the light off? Let me get some thumbs up if the light is better, or if I could turn the light off and you like it better. You like the light a little better? Okay. All right. Cash Flow say turn the light off. Come on now, give me an on and off. On or off in the chat. G Mama said keep it on. I like the dark. Made by Tammy Sorrell says she likes the dark. Unique Garden says she's like the dark. Cassandra Brown says keep it on. Mike's Chaotic Garden says keep it on. OCD is Chick said keep it on. Country Hustle said turn it off. Boy, that needs to be a whole poll right there. I like that. So I'm gonna flip it off just to see where we at, and then I'm gonna turn it back on. So that's gonna be a shocker when it goes back down. But the game plan was to have the ambience of the fire flames in the background. I still got my light up here, so we're gonna say it again. Keep the light on, okay? Let's see, Unique, G Mama. Turn them off. David Corey said turn them off. Let's see here, King, hey chat. What's going on, Unbiased? Thank you for, Unbiased, thank you for, you know what you did. I appreciate that, I appreciate that. Love you for it. On, OCD as the chick says on. So I came prepared, like I said, we're trying to make this thing up as we go. So I got another light here also that I was gonna try, because I'm trying different little things to see if I can keep the ambience lower. Now, I got this one. that I can sit back here. Let's see, that makes a difference. Now, how's that? So we're gonna be playing around with a lot of different little ways to do it. No, no, Cassandra Brown says that's better. Cash flow say good. I like the first one. G Mama says she likes the first one. So you like the bright light. Light needs to be up front of you. Now, David Corey, you know I don't care nothing about the way everybody else do it. Okay. First light. Cassandra Brown says first light. Okay. So we trying out some different things. We'll take that down. Let's see here. I may even see if I can move the light. Let's see here. Let's see if I can move the light a little further back. I don't know about that one. Bring it back up, because I'm not feeling that. Okay. David Corey say with the light up front, they can see me better. All right. I like the flame in the background, G Mama. Yeah, G Mama, this is really what I was trying to capture in the back. You see my flames back there in the back? I don't know if I got the camera in the right spot. Yeah. There you go. You see it in the back there? That's really what I wanted in the back right there. That's lining up pretty good. I gotta get me a softer light for up here, maybe something with a flame to it. Hold on. You know, I got all kind of stuff laying around here. Let me see this. Right back. Now, I can talk to you even though I'm walking off. So I'm gonna keep the conversation going while I walk over to the other side, and I'm finna steal something from one of my other flower beds and see if this will match the ambience, because I think that light that I got in front of me is a little too bright for what I'm trying to do. So what I'm gonna do is, I went and stole one of my other lights from the other side of the garden. Let's see if this makes a difference. Y'all bear with me now, we figuring this out together. All right, so. I don't know if that makes a difference. Can y'all see that? Let me see. Maybe that light needs to be. Cash flow says no. Does that make a difference? Can you guys see that any? I'll bring the bright light back up. Cash flow says put it behind you. I think behind me is not gonna work because the light's not gonna be on my face then. It looks good behind me, but I still need a light up front. Yes, sets the chat mood, made by Tammy Sherrill. And that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get something that's gonna set the mood for the chat. Kind of like we're doing like a fireside at night. Hey there, Cash Flow. South Florida Sunshine is speaking to Cash Flow. Yeah, I'm trying to do it like we were like maybe like beside a fire at night or something, because we will be doing some of the lives from over by the fire pit. So we'll just kind of roll with it tonight. I'll get another light something that will kind of sit in front of me, so to speak, or bring me a table out so I can sit this right here to bring some of the light up front. Needs to be a little closer up top. We'll figure it out. But we're talking about the refractometer again. I done got all over the place, and that's cool. Now, I know somebody's out there gonna Google this, and that's okay, because that's what we use it for. Now, if we're talking about, let me put this light back on to make it a little easier. Maybe if I sit it back a little further. Let's see here. And like I said, we're experimenting now. Now let me come back over here and see if that makes a difference. Now how's that? Now I got my chairs kind of blocking me a little bit, so it has a little shadow on my face. How's the lighting on that? Or do we just need to bring the light back up to the front again? Make it real simple. Cash flow says it's good. Come on, y'all, give me some yes or no. Is this lighting okay? Because we're trying to create us a little ambience out here. It's a shadow. Yep, you're right, it's a shadow. It's cool. David Core with the crop says it's cool. Crafted Leo says good. Let me see if I can move this chair. That might do it. Because the chair is actually blocking the light. I got two rocking chairs out here on my porch. How's that? With the rocking chair gone. So the light's kind of bouncing off the wall now and coming up towards me. Low light is so bright for the eyes. David Core, yes, it's good, but put the lantern behind you also. Okay, let's see here. That looks a little cool, but okay. Backyard farmer flow says, okay, I'm getting some thumbs up, some 100s. That's perfect. Mike's Chaotic Garden say that's perfect. Halloween vibes now, made by Tammy Sherrill. Hey man, like I said, we calling this Lights Out Live. That's what we're gonna be calling this series. So I don't want all the bright lights. Now I may bring, we may fix it to where the light is a little closer to us, but I really want a different vibe of just something different, man. Because like I said, when I'm out here in the garden, my whole demeanor is just different. You know what I mean? I just take on a whole different personality. I become a part of everything that I'm doing out here. And one of the things that I'm trying to do today is, look at my wife always saving me. My wife always saving me. See, this is what you need a good woman for. Somebody that's gonna wipe your nose when you need it. So bring the light back up because I'm gonna show the refractometer and what it is that I'm actually doing with the refractometer. Just unhook it on there. So we're gonna move the light back up. All right. I really don't like that light, but we're gonna work with it. All right. Because it takes the whole background out. South Florida Sunshine says she likes the hats. Thank you. like I said, for the females, y'all have been, with the exception of a very few, but the females, for the most part, have been super supportive. So I want to do stuff like this for you guys to make sure that I'm representing you as well. We got, of course, for the fellas, if y'all want to get the growing out the box hats, I got every color that you can think of, as well as the fitted caps as well. But we got jackets coming. Oh, y'all bear me. Oh, two. All right. Love the hats. All right. So this is where we at now. Can y'all see this? So we got a little light. I want to be able to get it to where you can see the analytic gardener. What's going on, analytic gardener? Y'all give me some thumbs up if you can see this pretty well. And this is our refractometer. All right, Mike's Chaotic Garden said he can see it. So a question that I'm going to ask you guys, because like I said, one of the ways that I retain information is question and answers. So I think that's a good way for us to communicate and be able to gather information. So one of the ways that we use this is we take the leaves of our collards, and matter of fact, I'm finna go over here and I'm gonna remove one of my collard leaves from the middle. And all my collards are kind of small right now, but I was so impressed. And I want you guys to see this now, because this makes the difference. You see this leaf right here? This is a old-timey blue collard. And if I were to show you all of my plants right now, none of my plants, you see any insect bites on that? No insect bites. And I'm gonna take you over to the plant just temporarily, because I want you to see this so you won't be like, oh, this dude is pretending. I wanna let you guys see. So I'm gonna flip this camera around and I'm gonna show you where I got this leaf from and the rest of these plants over here. We're gonna take our light. We're gonna go over here. Y'all see these collards? No insect bites. No insect bites. And they're not covered up. This is no insect bites. You see that? No insect bites. No insects. Everybody asks me all the time, what do I spray on my collards, on my greens? Nothing. I spray absolutely nothing on them. No insect bites. No insect bites. These are purple tree collards here. No insect bites. Cabbages. See the cabbage there? No insect bites. More collards right here. No insect bites. And you can see my, what is that? My basil here that's died off, but that basil still has a little scent to it. Got some more cabbage right there. No insect bites. Little baby tree collard down there. Got a little leaf rip right there on the side, but for the most part, no insect bites. And everybody knows that the seedlings are most vulnerable. You see those down there? Little bitty seedlings, no insect bites. And your seedlings are the most vulnerable. Your little baby seedlings, no insect bites. No insect bites. Okay, so now you've gotten my point. Now I'm gonna come back up here and we're gonna talk about how that's possible. And that refractometer is gonna make sense to you now. Okay. Let's see here. Oh yeah, I like that. I like that. All right. So I'm gonna put that back up there. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna show you why this makes so much sense. This is how I test my soil. This is how I test my soil. This is better than a soil test itself. When you send your samples over to the lab to get a soil sample, that's going to tell you what's in your soil. But this leaf, let me see if anybody knows what this leaf can tell you. A soil sample that you send off to have a soil test done is going to tell you what's in your soil. But this leaf is going to tell you what? Let me see if anybody knows the answer to that. What is this leaf going to tell you about your garden? David Corey says the nutrients. Okay. Be blessed indeed of the soil. David Corey said the nutrients of the soil. And I'm going to have to say David Corey hit that on the money. The leaf is going to tell you what the nutrients are in the plant that came from your soil. A soil test is going to tell you what's in your soil. It's not going to tell you what's in your plant. You can have every nutrient available in your soil, but if your pH is off, which is why I use my pH meter, and this is why I suggest that every one of you should have a pH meter, because all of these things that people were saying, growing out the box, you be doing too much. I got each one of my beds tuned in for every plant that I'm growing out here. My collards, they like a 6.5 to a 6.7. I move my pH around till I land right there on that sweet spot. If I were to test my soil's pH right there, my soil pH is going to be right at a 6.5 to a 6.7. Generally, 6.7 is going to be good for pretty much all your plants, but then you get over to your garlic, which likes it closer to neutral, which is closer to 7. If you go and test my garlic's bed going to be probably a 6.9 to a 7. I move the pH of my soil because the closer you are to the pH range of that plant, the more nutrients the leaves are going to take up, the more nutrients the plant's going to take up. The more nutrients the plant take up, the healthier the plant is. The healthier the plant, the less insect attack. Insects hate sugar, believe it or not. The nutrients in this plant is what's keeping the insects from attacking it. A soil test is not going to tell you that. A soil test is going to tell you what's in your soil. This is going to tell you what's in your plant. That's what makes your plant healthy. Now I'm going to ask you another question. G Mama, it's all about the soil. That's right. pH meter is mentioned. People do roll their eyes. Yeah, people roll their eyes when you mention a pH meter, like, hey, that ain't the way my grandmother did it, or that ain't the way my grandfather did it. But we know better. The technology is so much better now to where we can pinpoint why things grow, why things don't grow, why insects attack, why insects don't attack. I could tell you, if your leaves have a high-Brix level, aphids do not like it. So what do you not see? Aphids. That's one of the main threats for your collards and your brassicas going through the fall, all throughout. And I grow collards all year round, summer all the way through fall. This is what my collards look like. Now they're growing slow right now because it's cold. That's what they're supposed to do. So how do I do this? We just strip the leaves. You hear how crunchy those leaves are? You hear how crunchy that is? Those leaves are crunching. That's healthy leaves right there, crunching. So what I do is I take all of this, fold it together. I want to break it so that sap starts to loosen up. That's what our second tool is for. This is our garlic press. What's going on, AD? Thank you for coming in. And what we do is, and this is a heavy duty garlic press. And this is how you get the juices out of those leaves. You pack that in there, flip it back around. And yes, it takes some squeezing because you're getting you're getting the juices out of your leaf. And I'm gonna see if I can put this as close to the camera so you guys will see when that juice starts coming out. I may have to use 2 hands. Here we go. See that juice starting to come out the bottom there? See if you can see that. There it is. Now you see that's dry now? See that juice there? That's how you get the juice out of those collard leaves. And then you flip that down on there. And you can see where the juice is saturated right there. Let me see where my camera is. There you go. See how the tip of that is? Now, if you were to look through this, this is going to show you the reflection of light. It's going to refract the light. And that's why it's called a refractometer. And what that's going to do is going to show you a line that tells you the Brix of your plant, and the Brix is telling you how much sugar is in there. Now, what you don't want, and I'm not able to show you this now, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually do a short of the video, because I can look through this thing now, look to the light, and the Brix. I want somebody to Google this now, because I'm going to show this, because I'm going to have to put this up to the camera. Let me see if I could do that now. I don't know if I could do it now. No. But when I look through this little eye scope here, this is reading a 13. This is 13% Brix, and my SG warts is at a 1.045. So I want someone to Google what a 13 Brix is for collard greens. And what does that mean if you're getting a 13 Brix on your collard greens? You ain't gonna be able to see that through that. Now, I want somebody to Google it. Tell me what a 13 Brix is for your collard greens, because that's what I'm reading. And not only is my Brix right at a 13, it's a blurred line. Now, when you're reading your refractometer, darling, I need that. My wife's trying to go in and snap the picture of the refractometer. She done walked off with it. She tried to show like I'm finna prove this. Now, but again, you can see the liquid at the tip. You see the liquid down here at the tip. That's what was just squeezed out of this. You can see that at the bottom down there. That's what's on the bottom. It's liquid. And that's how you get it out, with a garlic press. So with the refractometer, you're gonna have 0, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Let me make sure I'm saying that right. I think it's 30 is the top. Yes, you're going to have 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 30 being at the top. Okay, David Corey said he looked it up. High flavor, high nutrients. Now, not only does it tell you, hey, what's going on, LGG? Thank you for coming in. We're talking about Brix in any leaf. This is how you basically test the nutrient profile of any of your plants in the garden. So when you're looking through your refractometer, there's going to be a line that separates the blue from the white. The white is telling you your percentage of Brix. That's going to be your sugars and your nutrients. But the part that you're really looking for is not a straight line across. If you have a straight line across, that means that you are lacking some vital nutrients in your plant. Straight line, a definitive straight line means that you are lacking nutrients. When I do the video on this, and I'm going to do a whole video where I'm doing this live and post it, you're going to see my line is blurred. Now, somebody Google real quick, what does a blurred line mean in your refractometer? What does a blurred line mean in your refractometer? And it's going to tell you a lot that you need to know about this leaf and that plant that we just took from the plant that we just took this from. It's going to tell you a lot about what's going on. If you've been putting nitrogen in your soil, it's going to tell you the nitrogen is there. Potassium, your calcium, all of these things is what creates that blurred line because it's telling you that you have a complete nutrient profile. If you have a straight line, that means some of those things, because in other words, the more nutrients that are available in that plant leaf that you just tested in your refractometer, the wider that line is going to be and the less defined it's going to be. So those are some of the things that I like doing with all of my plants and testing out in theory, which are a lot of the things that I like doing out here in the garden. But when it really comes down to it, it's the science of it. Practical bubbles. So again, that one collard leaf from that little small plant that was just put out here, I don't know, October, it's taking up those nutrients and it's maximizing them to create a 12.5 Brix percentage in a blurred line, which is telling me that everything in my soil is being uptaken by that plant. That's why I love these little gadgets. $20, $25, you could spend a little more, but $20, $25. I picked this up from Target, I think, heavy duty garlic crush. I think I paid maybe $10 for that. So $35 to be able to tell you whatever is going on in your soil is or is not working. And that's the beautiful part about the science of the soil, being able to take these things and to know that what it is, the inputs that you're putting into your soil is working. That was a big come on the question. That was a big come up on the question. What was that, South Carolina, the big come up on the question? Yeah, so this is a tool that I suggest, a pH meter and a refractometer. These tools right here are gonna make you an awesome gardener. And what I'm trying to do this year, and this is my 4th year, actually, technically, this will be my 3.5 going into 4th year in this garden back here. I got 6,400 square feet in my garden area back here. And I'm gonna try to grow all my plants all the way through spring. That means covering some of them up because we're gonna be getting down into the 20s I think in the next 3 or 4 days. So I'm going to be covering some of them up, including my collards, because once the collards get down there in that 15, they'll start to struggle a little bit, and we haven't seen that this year. So I just wanted to bring you guys in to put you up on this, a refractometer. Someone was asking me, how do I know the inputs that I'm putting into my garden are working? This is the answer right here. This is not my guess. This is not a hypothetical. This is the science behind the soil. This is what tells you what your plants are uptaking. And I'm going to be showing you guys how to do the fulvic acid extract. Now, people are going to tell you you can't do that at home. You got to use all these powerful acids, and that's dangerous to do at home. And I'm going to tell you right now, no, it is not. You can do it with something simple as peat moss, hardwood ash, and vinegar. Those three things right there, you can create your own fulvic acid extract. And with that fulvic acid extract, you soil drench, or you can foliar feed your plants, and it's going to do what they call chelate. And chelating is basically means to latch on. It's going to make those nutrients latch on to your plants. This is how I know it's working. That fulvic acid extract. That's what I've been using on my plants, along with that liquid whey. I spray that liquid whey on my plants as well. And this is the results. I can do this on any of the plants out here, and I'm going to get a a pretty close like reading. So that's pretty much what I wanted to come in here and talk about tonight. Just give you guys some heads up on some tools, some really simple tool. Refractometer is the next level. Now the refractometer, this is a rudimentary tool. It simply mirrors just a reflection of light, which tells you the glucose levels, the nutrient density of the liquid, the sap. You can also test your fruit to see how sweet your fruits are. And my black cherry tomatoes, oh man, the black cherry tomatoes landed a 17. Y'all better check that out. My black cherry tomatoes landed a 17. So I'm gonna have those seeds available real soon. South Florida Sunshine says, yes, all fruits use it for the fruit trees and the leaves. That's right. I'm gonna read some of the chats here. I use my refractometer on my honey. Oh, I did my honey today, Jigs, and when they say off the meter, yeah, honey is off the meter because honey is far greater than 30 Brix. I just tested some raw honey just to see what it looked like on the refractometer, and it's off the meter, literally off the meter, so stronger than 30 Brix. It doesn't even register on here, so it goes all the way off the meter. But these are good tools to have, and you can calibrate it. There's a little screw up there on the top, has a little rubber piece that protects that. You can calibrate it if ever you get it off. But how you calibrate it, you put some distilled water on it, let the distilled water sit, and then move it so it zeroes out, and then you're ready to rock and roll. Same thing with the pH meter. You calibrate it. You come out of here, you can test the soil on all your plants. Make sure that that pH is within that sweet spot. I even like to hone all the way in on all of my plants. And when I see something like a 12.5 Brix on a collard green plant, that tells me that this thing is working. That is absolutely great for collard greens. And as a matter of fact, see here, I got a little sheet here. 0 to 5 is poor for your Brix reading. Let me see here. So 0 to 5 is poor. 6 to 8 is fair, meaning that your plant is taking up good nutrients. That's fair. That's grocery store quality. 0 to 5, you hear that? 0 to 5 is grocery store quality. I don't think anybody heard that. 0 to 5 is grocery store quality. What I'm growing in my backyard right now is a 12.5. Come on now. Can your boy get some thumbs up, some reactions, something? There you go. That's sad. Exactly. Grocery store quality, I'm going to say this again, 5. That's what you're averaging, a 5 grocery store quality. And then you get to 8 to 10, which is good quality. This is noticeably good for collards. And then 10 to 12, 10 to 12 says excellent quality, rich nutrients, the flavor profile stands out, and great soil diversity. And then you have 12 to 14, which is superior. Hold on. 12 to 14 is superior quality for your bricks in a collard green. These are things that we can, we can't make this up. Growing this stuff in our backyards with all of this super juice that we're putting in, compost that we're putting in, building our biology, our bacteria, our fungi, this stuff works. So anybody telling you that it's a waste of your time, and I'm not saying that it's going to take like overnight, because I've been out here in my garden for the last 3.5, going on 4 years. And I started off in the beginning, starting to do the homework, figuring out what it is and how I want it to grow. And here it is 3.5, 4 years later, the results are coming in. So it's not going to be an overnight process. It's something that you're going to have to work on. But in my opinion, it's worth it. So when we're out here doing our kale and we're making these smoothies with our kale, we're getting all of the nutrients out of that kale. My blueberry bushes, we're going to be doing the blueberry bushes as well. So people are asking me like, how do you know that your blueberries are nutrient? Here it is right here. Here it is right here. This tells the story, not my personal opinion. These are the facts. And a lot of this stuff I keep to myself because I'm learning how to use the tools. And then once I learn how to use the tools, then I want to learn how to read the tools, because it's not always a matter of just having the tools, but also learning how to use them. Just like a mechanic, you can have a garage full of all kind of meters, and let me tell y'all also, I also got my microscope in there. So when I tell you we're doing this 18-day composting, I'm coming out serious with it. I got the microscope. We're going to be showing you what's in the soil before we get the pile heated up, and we're going to show you the microbiology as the pile heats up, and then we're going to show you the pile as it calms down. So we're going to show you all phases of what our compost is doing. And we're talking about thermophilic biological compost, not that cold composting where you're just throwing stuff on a pile and it decomposes over the next 2 or 3 years. We're talking about 18-day compost. We can heat this pile up thermophilic and get it up to 140 to 160. And within 18 days, we're going to have usable compost. And we're going to track the whole process. We're going to bring our microscope out in the same way that we're showing you these little tools a little bit at a time. It's time to break out the microscope and show you guys why I do the things that I'm doing and why I say the things that I say, because I have the proof to back up what I'm talking about. The pH meter is one of the tools that I use. The refractometer is another tool that I use, and that microscope. That microscope has been a game changer. And I'm working on a situation where we can get some low cost microscopes at a very good price, to where if you're serious about growing your soil, these are going to be some tools that you're going to need. So I ain't going to hold you guys up. I appreciate you all coming in. I really do appreciate just all the support over the years and allowing me to grow so that I can share that with you guys. Got any questions? I'm open for questions. It's feeling kind of nice out here right about now. Yep. So let me the South Florida Sunshine says she wants a microscope now. Yeah, the microscope is definitely a game changer, Carol. Once you get that microscope and you're able to see your bacteria and your fungi, your nematodes, uh, even your protozoa. I mean, it just changes the whole game plan where you could put just a drop on that microscope and you can see all the life going on. You'll see, uh, I mean, it's just a learning experience that I am learning as I go and I'm sharing as I grow. Learning as I go and sharing as I grow. So a lot of this stuff is new to me and I'm sharing it as it comes in. As I'm able to explain it as best I can, I'm just sharing it. So I really appreciate you guys just, like I said, growing with me. You know, I was more antsy in school. I was a terrible student in school. Yeah. Juan P.A. Mr. Keith, you inspired me with the blueberries. Um, I have a Hello Darling blueberry bush and it's blooming. Yeah, the Hello Darling will trick you because she will bloom this time of the year. The only negative about that is you're going to lose those blooms if you get too cold. Like we're going to get down into the 20s. My Hello Darling is blooming right now. Actually, I got a few berries on my Hello Darling, and that's not a good thing when we start getting down into the teens. It can handle it in the 20s. Excuse me. It can handle it in the 20s, but the Hello Darling, you're going to lose those berries if you get down into the teens. When you start getting around 15, those berries aren't going to make it. So you may have a very little harvest out of your Hello Darling, which is my early. So I have all my blueberries set up in companions. So I got my early, my mid to late, and I still got to get my late bloomers. So that's why my blueberry bushes are set up the way that they are. My plum trees are set up that same way. Broke. I don't know if you're still in here, but dude, that video you put up the other day where you were talking about some of the mistakes that you made early on in growing your garden, brother, that was some serious information that you gave out, man. That can help a lot of people in just making some good decisions when planning their garden out. I know in starting my garden, a lot of people were saying that I was probably doing too much, but what I was doing was researching before I was actually putting things in motion. So I have my trees planted so far apart so that they're not robbing nutrients from each other. They can grow at maximum space. You look at my blueberries, in its third year, my blueberries are all 6 foot tall in their third year. My second blueberry bushes are 4 to 5 foot tall. The maximum that I have with my southern high bushes and my northern high bushes, they should max out at 4 to 6 feet tall. In 3 years, I'm already at my maximum size with my blueberry bushes. That is because I'm paying attention to what the blueberry bushes want and not what it is that I choose to give them. And the results are showing. Last year we had bushes that took off 17 to 19 pounds per bush. Organic blueberries, 17 to 19 pounds per bush. Do the math. 3 years, all of my bushes are paid for. It's an investment. That's the way I look at my garden back here. When I started from day one, it all came into as an investment. All of this social media stuff and YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, that was never a part of the plan. I wanted to grow something back here to protect my family for food security for what went on in 2020. And it has blossomed into something that I have to say I haven't even, I couldn't even imagine having over 1 million neighbors. You know, most of us call them followers, but I call you guys neighbors. Over 1 million within 3 years between all platforms. That's amazing. And simply because I'm willing to share as I grow, not hoard it all in and keep it all to myself and pretend like I know more than everybody else, but I want to learn with you guys. And just like I learned, you know, from the information and the research that I gather, I share it with you guys. I learn a lot from the questions that you ask. So it's it's been a blessing the entire way. It's been a blessing. So again, we're gonna, no wonder the grocery stores taste like cardboard. That's what Kale said. You're right, Kale, because you got to think about when you're feeding your plants, and this is no knock against anybody in here that's feeding their plants synthetics, but your synthetics feed your plant. What we are doing, we are feeding our soil, and our soil biology is feeding our plants. That's the reason why that big oak tree that's sitting on the side of your house don't need to be fertilized. That's the reason why the spruce tree that's been on your property for the last 30, 40 years didn't need to be fertilized, because the soil biology is all working in conjunction with itself, and they are feeding your plants, and that's what we're trying to mimic in our backyard gardens with, I don't know if you can call it organic growing, but it is just trying to grow as natural as we possibly can. And I'm going to be sharing a lot of the things that I've been experimenting with you guys going into this season, because now I have the tools to back up what I've been saying, and we're just moving forward. LGGG, I would be putting my blueberry bushes in the ground in 2026. I've been keeping them in pots. Yep, they're only going to grow as big as that pot's going to allow them. And then again, when those plants are not able to communicate with the soil biology, they're only going to be dependent upon whatever it is that you're giving them. And you're never going to be able to duplicate that whole thing that happens in the soil. What's going on, Hands in the Dirt? Appreciate you from coming in, my brother. I don't know if you caught the whole conversation, but I was showing the refractometer and the Brix reading that I just got on my, what was it, the blue collards that I got, 12.5 Brix. And I say that out loud and I say it proud. 12.5 Brix is what my collards are giving off. And not just a straight line, but the blued line. And anybody knows how to read a Brix meter, they're going to tell you if you got a blued line at 12.5 Brix, your plants are nutrient powerhouses. And that's what we want to do. And I can show you guys how to get this done by some real simple ads that you put into your garden. It starts with that compost, and that's what we're going to be doing with our 18-day composting. So we're going to jump our 18-day composting off first of spring, but we're also going to be doing a whole live, which is called What You Have in the Bank. And the bank is what we need to be collecting now in order to be able to do our 18-day composting. The leaves, shredded cardboard, things of that nature. We want to be able to collect that now. What's in the bank? We got to get something in the bank in order to make a withdrawal in spring to make that good compost. And I'm going to show you guys what I put into my compost, the mycorrhiza that I use in the soil, which the collards don't even really benefit as much from the mycorrhiza, but things like your tomatoes, your peppers, your string beans, your legumes, all of that stuff, I use that mycorrhiza. You got your legumes, which is your leguminosum bacteria, your Bradyrhizobium bacterias. I'm growing alfalfa. This is going to be a game changer because we're going to be using alfalfa in our 18-day composting. You can get a 40-pound bag from Tractor Supply, and that's all you need for your greens to go into your compost pile. You can use grass clippings. We're just going to have a whole list of different things that you can bring to use for your compost, and we're going to have compost in 18 days. And Juan, let's see what Juan says. Good evening, neighbors, and thank you, Mr. Keith. I appreciate that. KDH, I'll be checking out the composting. I'm starting from scratch all around. And that's KDHA said they're starting from scratch. Hands in the dirt. Yeah, Hands, I saw you using the alfalfa. But brother, things are finna get so tight around here. I got a whole patch of alfalfa growing out here. I'm gonna even be offering some seeds. So I'm gonna have 4 alfalfa patches, and each one of those patches are gonna be, I'm trying to go 100% closed loop. When we start talking about closed loop garden, I want to be able to get everything I need out of my garden. There's another little tool that I use called fulvic acid extract. This thing is so simple, and this is what pulls those nutrients out of the soil and attaches them to that plant, and that plant uses all the nutrients that you're putting into the soil. Fulvic acid extract. It's very simple to make. 3 things: hardwood ash, peat moss, and vinegar. Those 3 things right there. It's not as strong as the commercial, and we don't care about being as strong. We just want it to work. This right here tells me everything I need to know. For the naysayers and all, this tells me that everything that I've been doing is working. And again, I'm sharing this with you guys. It don't cost you anything. It's no personal consultations to where I'm charging anybody any particular thing. You ask the question, and I'm going to answer it as best as I can. No better thing than the results. Let's see, South Florida sunshine, my green banana leaves or plants. I'm almost about to use those to fill my beds. I may need to wait. What are you about to, oh, you're talking about the alfalfa? The alfalfa is the truth. It's a 3, now don't get confused with the NPK, because most people are gonna look it up and it's gonna say a 323 as the NPK or 322 as the NPK. Don't get caught up into the NPK of your fertilizers, because the bacteria and the fungi in the soil are going to make the difference up. The thing about the alfalfa that's a game changer, there's a compound in it, a hormone stimulator called tricontinol. That's the game changer in the alfalfa. That's why I want to grow the alfalfa. The alfalfa has a taproot that goes down 15 feet, 10 to 15 feet deep, alfalfa root. I'm growing that in my garden, so it's going to be pulling up all the nutrients from within my soil, and I'm going to be using it as chop and drop. That's going to be going into my compost pile. It's just going to be a game changer. Again, we're closing the loop. We can stop buying all of this store-bought stuff, and we can create a lot of this stuff right here in our backyards. Sleepy Panda balcony garden. And even for the matter of fact, I'm glad that name popped up, Sleepy Balcony Garden. The growth hormone, absolutely, Hands, that is, it's called tricontinol. Your seedlings, once you get your seedlings, get that second set of true leaves, and you add them to your compost, you put a little bit of, and what I like to do is powder my alfalfa. I like to put them in my little coffee grinder, grind them up, mix them in with my my seedling mix when I bring my seeds out. And the seedlings take a hold of that, and they uptake those nutrients. And then you water those seedlings with this fulvic acid extract that I'm talking about. You're gonna have some very healthy plants. And going back to what I showed you guys earlier, the healthier your plants are, the less pest pressure you're gonna have. The healthier your plants are, the less pest pressure you're gonna have. Living evidence of it right there. My collard greens are not covered up, and everybody keeps asking me, what am I spraying on my collard greens to keep the insects off of them? Fulvic acid extract, which causes the nutrients to chelate, which makes the plant pull the nutrients from the soil. Healthy plants, healthy plants are less likely to get attacked by insects. They're gonna go for the unhealthy insects. They're gonna go for the unhealthy plants. And the The more you culture that soil, the healthier your plants are going to be. What's going on, Angela Calloway? I'm glad you came in. Angela Calloway been rocking with me for a long time. She's got those blueberry bushes from growingoutthebox.com as well. And I think Angela, you have some of the black cherry tomatoes, if I'm not mistaken. So thank you for coming in. It's something that could be done in containers. Sleepy Panda's balcony garden asks, is it something that can be done in a container? Well, the minimum size for compost is going to be a 3 by 3 by 3, a 3 foot tall, 3 foot wide by 3 foot depth. That's going to be the minimum that you're going to be able to use to get a hot composting pile. I'm going to be building the compost pile with you guys. We're going to be showing you all the things that you need to build your compost pile. It's not complicated. Don't get scared off. But what we are going to be doing is what they call thermophilic composting, and that's when your pile heats up. And what the thermophilic composting does, it gets rid of the weed seeds, or at least most of them. It's not going to get rid of all of them, but gets rid of most of your weed seeds and any pathogens that are in your garden, like you throwing just bad things in your garden. Like when you do cold composting, you really never know what it is that you're using. But this is how you get the good bacteria out of that. Angela Calloway, yes, I have the black cherry tomatoes, the blueberries, and the elephant garlic. That's what's up. I appreciate all the support, Angela. And like I said, you've been rocking with me for the longest, so I really do appreciate that. I was even considering doing a thing where I give away the entire garden. And giving away the garden means that every seed that I'm growing out here and that I've collected, I'm going to gift the entire garden away. Yes, I do use comfrey. Was that Sherelle? Sherelle loves to garden. Asked, do I use comfrey? Yes, I do use comfrey. I use Bocking 14, which is the sterilized comfrey. It does not spread by seeds. You have to spread it by rhizomes. You chop the roots, and whenever you chop those roots, that's a warning sign now. Wherever you plant that comfrey, if you do not want the comfrey to spread, do not chop inside of that bed. That's a due warning sign because comfrey is invasive. So before you start growing your comfrey, know that wherever you plant it at, it's going to be a permanent home. If you want it to spread, dig into that soil bed. You dig into that soil bed, you chop the roots of that comfrey, you're going to get another plant. It's going to divide and spread. But if you plant that comfrey and you leave it alone, it will remain that one clump. It will not spread. But if you chop inside of that bed where that comfrey is, you split that root, it will divide and you will get another plant. That's something that I like to tell. Another plant that I use is Mexican sunflower, Tithonia diversifolia. Lots of biomass, excellent nutrients, high in potassium, high in nitrogen. Like I say, a lot of this stuff we can do right around our garden. If your garden organic, those are you or not. Let's see. So any other questions about the composting or any other questions that we have, or we just kind of just tidying up around here, getting to the end of the live. So I appreciate you guys coming in. Right now we got 76 in here, but I do not see, well, I don't know, now I got 68 likes up there. 78 people in the live, that's all right there. I appreciate you guys for coming out and supporting. So again, we're gonna touch on that 18-day composting, and we're gonna be bringing this up. We're gonna be having a template to be downloaded off of growingoutthebox.com. The template is gonna be very simple. As you go through and you make your notations for the days that you were participating in the 18-day composting. At the end of the 18 days, we're going to pick 5 winners. This is not about who has the best compost. It's not about who did the compost the best. This is a participation prize. That's what we're doing. We're participating. And as long as you have done all of the steps throughout the entire 18 days, you qualify to be into the drawing. And we're gonna have some pretty nice gifts to give away. My moderators, y'all already know how I'm gonna show y'all some love. We got the citrus trees coming. So everybody who can grow some citrus trees that are my moderators, we're gonna have a list for you to pick from, so you'll be able to pick from your citrus trees. You already know we got the fruit trees, the plum trees, got a few northern high bush blueberries, but I am working on some southern high bush blueberries. I don't know why my chat's not moving now. I think my chat stopped moving. So we're gonna go ahead and get out of here. I thank you guys for coming in. Lights Out Live. That's what we're gonna be calling this. Lights Out Live. So when you guys start seeing the notifications come up for the Lights Out Live, these are what we're gonna be doing. We're gonna go from the daylight into the nighttime. And when those lights kick on, it's time for us to start talking about this garden. Lights Out Live. So I appreciate you guys coming in. Thank you for all the support. And unless there's something, like I said, I don't know why my chat stopped. Let me see if I can redo it. See if it comes back up. Because it looks like y'all saying something and there we go. I think that's it. Katie says thanks. Sleepy Panda Balcony says thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your evening. South Florida Sunshine says whoop whoop. Kales loving the closed loop goal. That's right. Kales, we're talking about closing the loop. We can grow our own fertilizers. And some people may make it sound a lot more difficult than what it is, but it is a commitment. And we're going to be showing you guys how to do this. Again, Mexican sunflower is something that we're going to be using. Comfrey, Bocking 14, we're using that. Alfalfa, we're growing our own alfalfa. What else do we have out here? Oh, David Core with the crop. He introduced me to the fava beans, lots of biomass. Again, using the nitrogen from the air, 78% of that nitrogen we're pulling, creating those nodules on the roots, chopping those down at soil level, leaving those nodules in the ground, replanting behind that, and other plants being able to use those nodules on the roots. We can do this, and we are going to do it. Let me see here. Yeah, I think I don't know if my chat's moving in the right direction. So, yeah. Let me just try something real quick. I'm trying to see if I'm to the bottom because, there it is. Okay, yeah, I'm to the bottom now. Just trying to get to the bottom so I can see, make sure I'm speaking to everybody. Thank you, Erica Taylor for coming in. Angela Calloway, AD. Mike's Chaotic Gardening, one of my moderators. Appreciate you. South Florida Sunshine, one of my moderators. KDHA, thank you for coming in. Angela Calloway, thank you for coming in. Angela, would you like to be a moderator? I would love to have you as a moderator if you would like to be. Because you've been rocking with me. Gardening Today, thank you for coming in. I'm just kind of going down. David Corey, thank you for being a moderator. I appreciate you, my brother. Jigs, what's up, J3GS Farm? Let's see who else is in there. Carolyn MHP, thank you for coming in. Hands in the Dirt, appreciate you, my brother. Kendall, thank you for coming in. LGGG, appreciate you. And we're going to go ahead and get out of here. Thank y'all for coming in. Peace.